Hey guys, I'm Daisho and I am here bringing you some magic, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the deck WAAAAARRRRsmith, and I'm going to go ahead and say that I honestly do not know if this is the best way to run this deck, or even a remotely decent way to run this deck. I meant to put this card in. Oops. Take this one out. Okay, sorry. But yeah, I just honestly don't know how to run this deck. I haven't played any games with it, so take this guide with a grain of salt. What I am going to say is that I tried to make it a lot more aggressive, because I think this could be a pretty powerful aggressive deck, and as well as trying to keep the artifact Metalcraft theme, because a lot of the cards are really good with Metalcraft. And I think that I'm just going to like scroll through them slowly. So Ardent Recruit, it gets to be a 3/3 if you've got Metalcraft, which is 3 or more artifacts controlling. Otherwise it's a 1/1. Infiltration Lynch is just a pretty interesting artifact equipment. Bone Splitter is really powerful and is probably the best card in the deck. Dispatch just becomes insane if you have Metalcraft. Though honestly I probably do want the 4th Galvanic Blast over the 3rd Dispatch, but because Galvanic Blast is good on both sides, whereas Dispatch is only even playable if, yeah, I'm gonna actually do that. It's only playable if you have Metalcraft. Banefire is just too expensive for this kind of deck. Mirror is just one of the ways that you get your Metalcraft. You just have a lot of little 1/1 mirrors. When it dies, you get another 1/1. So I don't know, maybe just the fact that you're playing an aggressive deck and you need like different things to make it work. If they hadn't included Metalcraft creatures and they had only included spells and equipment, then it might have been a little bit better. But I don't know, we'll see. This guy gets double strike, so if you can toss an equipment on him, he just goes insane. I included one of these flyers. The double strike guy is really good sometimes, but I don't know. There's a possibility that he shouldn't even be in the deck just because he's double white, and he's only really good if you have Metalcraft. But this thing is really bad if you don't have Metalcraft. So anyway, another equipment. It's not really going to be the target of any spells, but does work as a bad Bone Splitter, I guess. This thing is just an artifact that I thought might work. I don't know. It's an interesting card. I've never really seen it, so maybe it's good, maybe it's just terrible. This thing's sweet. Just as another artifact, this thing is one of the best cards in the deck if you can get Metalcraft. Really powerful. Snapcell Glider, another artifact, and it also becomes a creature that's pretty decent. And then there's Master's Call, which is probably going to be the most important card in the deck. It'll allow you to activate Metalcraft really early on. Chrome Steed is just kind of like a necessary evil. Really bad if you don't have Metalcraft. Kind of good if you do. Not insane, but like playable, I guess. And then some War Leaders Helixes, and finally Jorkadine, because he gets kind of insane with Metalcraft. So, I don't know, maybe this deck doesn't have enough artifacts. I really should be playtesting it, but I figured that you guys wanted to see Duels of the Planeswalkers gameplay, so I may as well just playtest it while showing. So this isn't like a deck guide or anything, because the way it turns out, it could just be terrible, and it could be that you really need to play this deck as a more controlling deck, and maybe it's okay as a control deck, maybe it's terrible, but I don't really know, because there definitely has control elements. It has like Pentavis, and it has Druidic Satchel, which is just a really cool card. But I think it has too many aggressive elements to be played as a control deck to get to like your 7 and 8 mana spells. So you're gonna need to end up playing it like an aggressive deck. What? Who sees Daisho's name and is like, I don't want to play Daisho. Daisho's a jerk. He's a meaty pants. Ready up. No, not gonna ready up. Maybe soon. There we go. Yeah, he's just finding whichever deck he wants to play. This is an interesting hand. I think I'm gonna keep it. It's not very good, but I have my colors, and it has potential. So like if I, well, I guess I could play Etch Champion first. I don't know. Depends on what he's playing. Whether or not I'm going to play Etch Champion before or after Master's Call, because I do have Metalcraft in hand. My opponent is playing the same deck as me. Interesting. So he's got Galvanic Blasts, and he might have Dispatches. I don't know. We'll see. But it'll depend on the draws. If they're just lands, then yeah, it's going to be it. But the thing about this game is it is really different than Hearthstone in some situations, and I was just playing Hearthstone, so definitely gives me a new perspective trying to switch between the two of them. Like I was literally playing 15 minutes ago the other game. So, alright, there's a Mercire. That's pretty bad for me because it does mean that he's getting Metalcraft, and it also means that my my 1/1s probably won't stay around for too long. Like the absolute worst turn to draw it. But I think that will convince me to go with a Master's Call first. I'm not gonna. I'm obvious. Well, not obviously, but I'm not gonna block this. Even if I take 3 damage, that's okay, because I can drop Master's Call, and then since my opponent can't attack my creatures, something that is really difficult to comprehend. Oh, well, I'm definitely not blocking this game. Yeah, I've never played against or with this deck, so I don't know how powerful or anything it is. But definitely not going to block. Doesn't make any sense to. But, I mean, next turn... No, I'm still not going to block because this thing is not colored, so this won't have protection. But yeah, I'm going to be able to put 4 artifacts out on the table, and I guess I could dispatch it if I wanted. I could dispatch this thing. That'd be a good play. I can't equip Bone Splitter this turn anyway. Yeah, let's go for it. I don't know. We'll see how it works. I mean, it takes all of the tempo off my opponent's side of the board. He's got to have 2 removal spells right now if he wants to take out my Etched Champion. So it's looking okay. And this is only attacking creatures he controls, right? Yeah. Okay. But still, it doesn't mean that. It means that he can't really block my creatures effectively, unless he plays artifacts, in which case he can block this guy probably. But we'll see what he's got here. 4 mana. Auriok Edgewright. Probably gonna equip it up. And now I have to decide what I want to do next turn. So I'm well, it depends on my draw, but I'm probably gonna play Bone Splitter. Snapshot Glider. Okay, so I can either equip Bone Splitter to this guy. This thing does not have Double Strike. Man, that could be scary. Alright, so maybe I should just hold back with my Etched Champion just in case he has an artifact in hand, because if he has any artifact, then he's going to be able to do it. I should not have played that first main phase, but I guess it doesn't particularly matter. So yeah, we're just going to equip up here. We still have 4 artifacts, so we're not really in danger of this guy losing Metalcraft anytime soon. But I'm going to keep this one back just in case he does play Galvanic Blast. Sure. Still not in danger of losing Metalcraft. Unfortunately, he has this artifact, which means that I can't kill this guy with my Etched Champion, which could get a little bit awkward. But we'll see what he's got here. He's down to only 2 cards in hand, though. I'm only at 1 myself, so even though he mulliganed, didn't really lose too much into the card advantage department, other than the fact that I've got a couple more lands out, but that's not too useful. Oh no, I'm not running Moonsilver Spear in my deck, but that is going to be very good for him. There's no point in attacking for him. He may as well hold his guy back to play some good defense. Sure, we'll play an Infiltration Lens here. It'll make him not want to block. Sure, it doesn't really matter which one I use, but hopefully he does block. Be pretty nice. Still nowhere near losing Metalcraft. I'm also nowhere near killing him, unfortunately. So what I really need to do is draw a removal spell. I mean, there are a lot in the deck, so it's pretty reasonable that I will. But, yeah, this could be an issue. I just need to get rid of this thing, because he's threatening a lot of damage with that. But it was a good play of him not to block there, because there are a lot of cards in my deck that can disrupt whatever kind of situation he's got going on here. Yeah, he's obviously going to attack just to trigger that thing. Fortunately, I did leave my guy back to block, but still not great, because the damage is going to be prevented from both, so it's a little bit awkward. But we'll see what we draw here. Snapshot Glider is not the one that we were looking for. Charge in with this guy. Again, really hoping that he does block here. I mean, just there's no reason for him to. And drawing Galvanic Blast there is just awesome. So Right. Okay. The timing is pretty critical of when we do my creatures effect. But for now, I can just drop this, give it a bone splitter, and then equip something with this. I guess this guy. And now we just wait for him to exit his main phase, but before combat, we want to galvanic blast this. So that thing does what? Oh no. You can copy. Oh, he should have copied my my edge champion, I think. Maybe not. I mean, I only have artifacts. All right. So right now, gonna kill this guy, and hopefully that'll just set him way too far back on tempo since he can't equip both of these at the same time. I sincerely doubt he's gonna attack with this. But yeah, you can equip the bone splitter now. That's fine. Oh yeah, giving this thing the the bone splitter, I guess it doesn't make that much sense. But all right, let's hopefully draw something. My opponent made a huge mistake by blocking my infiltration lensed creature. But yeah, I guess I probably should have given infiltration lens to this thing. Well, no, he wouldn't have blocked then. He's probably just gonna. No, he can't really trade. He just has to kind of take this one. And I think all the weapons are actually on the right creatures, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, I'm either going to need to draw an extra damage. Oh no, actually I'll be able to push one through with all my creatures. But so like if he doesn't have a creature here, I can just move the bone splitter over to the etch champion, and I can attack with all my guys and hopefully just kill him here because he's only going to have one blocker. So normally that would be okay because he could just throw it in front of the snap sail glider, but I'm going to make 2 of my damage unblockable. And I have 2 creatures and he only has 1 blocker. So if he has a galvanic blast, then it looks like I might still lose, but if not, it kind of does look like I've got this game in the bag. Just as an insurance policy in case he does have that card, going to re-equip here and let's see. Guess I'll just play. No, I'm not going to play the Steed just in case he does block and I draw like a War Leader's Helix or something. Very important to attack with all my creatures right there, but wow, that was a really close game. If he had just been able to... Okay, so he did block there. Interesting. I mean, he's still dead, so... Whatever, and I also drew a Galvanic Blast off that, but I think I had the right positioning on my equipment that entire game, so that was definitely pretty nice, but I mean... I guess I'll play one more game, but that was a cool one. Maybe he'll switch decks, maybe he won't. He seemed to be a pretty decent player. He made that one crucial mistake. I understand where he's coming from. Is a sweet hand. I think what he was trying to avoid was losing just to damage, so he figured that he may as well just block when he can not take any damage, and it was like 3 damage, so we would have gone down to 9, but the thing is I only had 2 cards in hand, so there's really no way I could have killed him from there, but we'll see. Alright, so he's switching to fairies. Should be a tough matchup. I think I'm willing to trade this guy off for a fairy, just because getting fairies off the board is very important. And it's not, I mean, I'm not going to have Metalcraft until turn 4, so that's not for a significant amount of time. But yeah, getting their fairies off the board is the most important thing because they need a bunch to get going and start countering your spells and shenaniganry like that. So we're going to get the train going, starting with a Mirror. Etch Champion is not nearly as good in this matchup because my opponent doesn't really play removal. Well, I guess he's got that. I don't really care about Hands of Binding, though. Doesn't really do anything here. It's a card that I don't think is very good in the fairy deck. There's a lot more powerful things and synergistic things than you can do than just like sometimes tapping your opponent's creatures down. I don't know. It's not like it's a deck that has a ton of different things, so I guess it sort of makes sense, but it has a ton of different options, rather. It doesn't really have that many. There's an Auriok Edgerite. Yeah, right. So it looks like I'm going to drop this guy without Metalcraft, which is a little bit scary because he can definitely just tap it down. But next turn, if I do draw any land, then I can drop Auriok Edgerite and Mirror. which will be really nice. But if not, then I'll probably just drop the Mearsire so I can get protection on this and this guy to be a little bit bigger. But we'll find out what he's got in store for us. And if it's not going to be a land, then there's a lot of good cards that we can draw in this situation. A lot of like one-drop art, well, some one-drop artifacts, and Bone Splitter would be insane, man. That card is so good for this deck. So he's obviously going to tap down this guy, but that should be the last time he's going to be able to do that. And he's got 3 mana here, so he's probably got some sort of counter or something. Sunchaser's not the best draw here. Oh, Pestermite, sure. That's actually fine. I don't really mind at all. Alright, so we're just gonna play a Mearsire. I guess I would have been able to dispatch something, but that's okay. And now I can charge in with both of these guys. 4 damage, take him down to 15. This guy has protection now, and I mean there's not that much like removal or anything in that deck, so should be good to go in terms of starting the race. He might, I mean, he could play Fairy Lords, which would be really scary. And, I mean, they do have unsummons, so that works. But I think next turn I'm probably just going to play a Sunchaser, which should wall his guys off pretty well, and then still have Dispatch mana up, so long as he doesn't, like, unsummon one of my guys. That would be really bad if I dispatched something and he unsummoned it in response. He unsummoned something, so he's going to pick up the Pestermite here? If he has another land, that makes sense. I guess he's got to. Oh no, my oven's preheated. Looks like I gotta head out after this one. But okay, so Fairy Imposter is an interesting play. I don't know why he wouldn't just attack first, but that could just be a mistake. So he's gonna tap down the Ardent Recruit, probably. And I guess I'm not gonna do anything pre-combat here. No real reason to. This thing's got, like, what, Persist? Or Wither, rather? That's okay, I don't really care. Land is not a very good... Mountain is not a very good draw here. So, I think I'm just going to attack with everything. Obviously, none of them are doing any blocking. He can't block this one. If he has, like, an unsummon, or if he had an unsummon in response. Is it still my... Oh, he's blocking. Okay. If he had an unsummon, then in response I could dispatch that guy, but he already passed the opportunity where he'd be able to block that thing, so that's fine. Killing this doesn't really matter. Doesn't do anything for my Metalcraft. Losing 2 of his fairies is really bad. I guess he has an opportunity now for a little bit until those guys come back. And yeah, I'm just going to drop this guy. So I still have to remember that he's got a Pestermite in hand. But other than that, it's looking alright here. Definitely a situation that we can win. You can't really attack because I've got this flyer, dude. 3/3 flyer for 2 mana. It's fair. It looks like he's going to attack anyway, not realizing that I can just block it, but that's fine with me. Guess maybe my opponent wasn't as good as I gave him credit for in the first game. Although, you never know, that could have been his ploy all along. No, he does not look like it. Alright, so I've got 5. Oh, he's going to untap a land. Let's think about this. So he's got 5. I've got 5, 6, 7, 10 damage. Alright, not quite lethal if I remove that. But I suppose I can't really attack with those guys if I don't remove this. So he might have another play here. Maybe he's just being a scary one. I mean, it's pretty good if he can get rid of one of my artifacts and I can't play another. Pause. Alright, so here I am going to get rid of this, so he can't play it again, and he has to just sacrifice this. Very, very timely play there, and yeah, he's gonna head out. Master's Call is a great draw, because that means that even if he does have an unsummon, he can't get rid of this. I don't think that they have any hard counters in that deck, so I think they've got some Remands and some Spell Stutter sprites, but nothing that can really counter a Master's Call at this point. Alright. It's fine. Does mean that he's going to survive another turn. Unless I draw some burn or like a artifact that pumps my creatures. Did not look like it, but that's okay. One more turn is not too big of a deal. We can definitely win this game the next turn. May as well play this out. He doesn't have any mass removal or anything like that. No, I don't know. Blue doesn't get really mass removal. So looks like we were able to take that game down. That was pretty nice. Opponent made a couple of misplays, but our draw was pretty good, and I think I played it pretty well. So 2 games against maybe not the best opponent, not playing the best decks, although Fairies I think is a pretty good deck, but still gives you a pretty good idea of how I expect this deck to run. And I mean, fortunately I was able to have and keep Metalcraft the whole game because my opponent wasn't playing like removal heavy decks, but maybe that could be a real issue if you come up against zombies or something like that. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Have a wonderful day. Bye.